Hey, y'all, what's up? Coach Paul here. God has qualified me. This is Move Mondays, and you out there, you have greatness in you. Now, before we get to talking about that greatness, y'all know, watch this. If you don't move, that person, those people, those places, those things, those thoughts, those ideas, or those ways, Coach Paul promises you this. They are definitely going to move you, and you don't want to move where they're going to move you to. Also, sometimes that person that you need to move is you. All right, let's go. Y'all know I can't go without a nugget. Because I feel like these episodes brings about a certain form of completeness as it relates to me delivering the messages that I get with being able to drop a nugget every week. And here's the nugget. On the road or the journey to your greatness, let me tell you what's not there. There is no elevator or no escalator. It's also not microwavable. You're going to have to take the stairs and in some cases develop a crock pot type of mindset. All right, there y'all go. Now, let's get to the content of the day. When I was thinking about this content, the content to be able to bring to you all today, it made me think about the lottery. It made me think about scratch-offs. And I want to talk about how the lottery and scratch-offs has so much in common with mediocrity today. I want to talk about that today. First and foremost, the lottery is always set up for the house to win. The same thing with mediocrity. Mediocrity is always set up for mediocrity to win. You'll never win against mediocrity unless you walk away from it and move into your greatness. The only way you're going to win with the lottery is stop playing it. Okay, there you go. Now, the second thing about the lottery is that it sells you a dream and make you think that you're going to win. Same thing with mediocrity. It sells you a dream and make you think you're going to win. Let me give you some examples before I go on. So quite a few of the people that were called, the men that were called in the Bible, they had families who had a certain trade or profession that they traditionally lived in or operated in. It was from generation to generation to generation. And some of the people that was called was set, the family was setting them up so that they could continue this tradition and this profession that the family had operated in for so many years. Don't that sound like mediocrity? All right, let me go. And in many of those cases, God had to interrupt and say, no, that's not what he's going to be doing. I got something else that I want him to be doing. Let me give you an example from King David. They say what others see as a shepherd boy, God sees as a king. They looked at King David as he was, because again, in their mediocrity mindsets, mediocrity lifestyles, mediocrity traditions, mediocrity type of generational living, they were setting King David up to be a shepherd, just to tend the sheep. And you all know the story about shepherds back in those days. They was considered the lords of the lords in terms of professions. But God said, no. I got something else that he's supposed to be doing. And what I'm trying to do is I'm going to break this generational tradition, which is also a generational curse. So how do I relate that to today? Many of us, listen, I'm not downplaying or minimizing some of the professions that many of us have taken on in our lives. I'm not downplaying or minimizing none of that. You all, many people out there who are walking, teachers and lawyers and doctors and, police officers and you name it, that went into these professions based off of what somebody told them that they were supposed to be doing or a family tradition. I'm not saying that those things are not important and that you didn't put in the hard work to get to where it is that you live in terms of your career. I'm not saying that, but what I am asking is that the calling? Because many people that I know that are in these traditional mediocrity mindsets that take on these professions, right? They waiting to retire and get a pension. I'm not saying nothing wrong with that, but was that really your calling? That's what I'm talking about in terms of mediocrity. Some of us have taken on lots of traditional family set or center type of professions, but was that really your calling? It sold you a dream like you were going to be walking in greatness, but you spent 20, 30, 40 years working at a job or a career waiting for the day of retirement, hoping that you have enough money to retire on, hoping that the government, you can get into place in a position where the government doesn't tax your retirement greatly. All right. I just explained it. All right. So let me go on. Again, not minimizing or downplaying none of the work that you have done, but it's that your calling. Because again, I want you to understand, excuse me, you and I, we have greatness in us. God may have been calling us to something else. Let me go on, y'all. So again, the lottery and the scratch-offs, it's always set up for the house to win. Yet it sells you a dream like you gonna be winning because you work this job and you get a retirement and you get to go off into the sunset after you retire. More often than not, that's not the case. All right. Also, it says lotteries, people who play the lottery say you got to play to win. You actually playing to lose. Same thing with mediocrity. You're actually playing to lose. You're, like I said in the beginning, mediocrity is set up for the house to win, just like the lottery. Okay, let's go on. So you consistently playing the lottery and you're saying, when I win the lottery, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. This is what's going to happen. This, that, or the other is going to happen. Don't mediocrity sound like that same thing? When I get to this level or to this space or to this place in my job or in what it is that I'm doing, this is what I'm going to do. And more often than not, that really never happens. That's based off of what we call luck. And I don't believe in luck at all. Want you to understand that. Winning this thing or winning in mediocrity is based off some luck that really doesn't even exist. Let me let y'all know that. So again, it's set up for the house to win. It tells you that, if I get lucky or when I get lucky and win this thing, I'm going to do this, that, or the other. Then here's what it also does. It gives you these small things that you call wins. Well, I hit the lottery for this much. I hit the lottery for this much. But how much did it cost you? Did you really win? How much did it cost you? More often than not, you're really just getting back all you lost. Ooh-wee. Same thing with mediocrity. Those little moments in your mediocrity where something happens that you think is really big, it's really you winning, not winning, you getting back what you lost because you never really prosper. You never really move to the next level. Again, it's just about just getting back to where you should have been to begin with. The other thing about the lottery is that they make it look so beautiful. They put all of this. Oh my God, watch this. They put these numbers out there, and the lottery has made it up to 300 and something million, and it made it up to $1 billion, and it made it up to this. And so everybody starts to play. Everybody started to play and go get their tickets. That's the exact same thing that mediocrity does. It starts to look good. It starts to get big. It starts to make itself look bright. And everybody, because we live in the world right now, and you and I, you out there who are watching this episode of Move Mondays, you can agree with me when you look out at what's going on in our world today. Everybody is doing what everybody else is doing. And the crazy part about that is that everybody is doing anything and think they winning. Oh my God, don't that sound like the lottery? So put all of these numbers out, and they get these big things winnings that they say that you have a chance to win, and everybody starts to plan it only for it to come out you didn't even win. I was listening to a young lady the other day that said, she asked me, she said, this big old soccer thing that they got going on out here today, the World Cup or something to that effect. I'm not really too familiar with soccer, but they got this big soccer thing that's going on where a bunch of countries are playing against each other. Maybe it is the World Cup. Anyway, she said that she had betted, she had gambled on a particular fight. She's of Mexican descent. She had betted on a particular fight, and she had betted on the Mexican to win. And the Mexican lost. So she laughingly or jokingly said, I put $200 into this World Cup match that's going on today it was yesterday, between Mexico and Africa. I'm going somewhere with this. Between Mexico and Africa. I said, did you bet on Mexico? She said, no, because they lost the last time. And I said, I'm not betting on Mexico to win, nothing else. Only for the Mexicans to beat the Africans in the world in their soccer match. So the Mexicans won, and she said she wasn't betting on the Mexicans. Again, she betted on the Africans and lost. This is exactly what mediocrity does to us. It confuses us. It sends us in all of these places where we start leaning on our own understanding, create this logic in our mindset that really don't make no sense. I'm not betting on them no more because this guy lost the boxing match. Boxing and soccer has absolutely nothing to do with one another. Just like greatness and mediocrity, they have absolutely nothing to do with each other. But I tell you what does, the lottery and mediocrity, they go right together. So she lost. She still lost because that's what mediocrity makes us do. It makes us start to gamble. It makes us start to gamble and make these illogical thoughts and make them sound like they make a whole lot of sense, that they gonna work. And normally, upon the normal circumstances, just like that young lady, I'm not gonna bet on the Mexicans because he lost in the fight. So I'm gonna bet on the Africans only for the Mexicans to win against them in the soccer match. That's exactly what mediocrity does to us. And lastly, let me tell you what how they both relate to one another. Statistics says that the average person who wins big in a lottery is usually broke within 5 years of winning. I don't even have to tell you how much that relates to mediocrity. The moment that you thought you won by living in mediocrity and not pursuing your greatness, as time progresses, you end up on the butt end of the stick, on the butt end of the situation, on the butt end of life. The problem that I have with all of that, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about the comparison of the two. The problem I have with all of that is that while you are gambling on mediocrity, which again, like I said, just like the lottery, it's designed for the house to win. You have greatness in you. While you're gambling on that, you have greatness in you. While you're gambling on that, you have extraordinary potential in you. And you, watch this, and we're wasting all of that away while we waste all of our time, our energy, our gifts, our talents, our abilities, and our finances and resources on a gamble that's designed for the house to win every time. So when you think you're winning with this gamble called mediocrity, people, I want you to understand you're really losing. Because here's an analogy when they talk about the lottery. If you take all of that money, all of that time that you stood in line to play the lottery, to get in your car, to write your numbers down, to drive to wherever place it is that you go to play the lottery, to stand in these long lines and give your money to these people that you'll never see that money again. If you took all of that time and that money and invested that into your greatness, which brings back awesome dividends and rewards, how much further can you be in life? Because one of the things you got to understand about mediocrity and greatness, watch this. Mediocrity is like energy. Once you lose it, you can't get it back. Greatness is like strength. You can always regain that. So which one you want to do? You want to keep gambling on something that's designed for you to lose? Or you want to go get that sure shot? Because trust me, your greatness got a sure shot attached to it. Watch how I prove it to you. Like I always tell y'all, God is greatness. He put some of him in you. So that means you have greatness. And you're designed to walk in greatness, to develop greatness, to be greatness, and to prosper. And I'm not trying to give y'all no get-rich-quick schemes. And to prosper in greatness in more ways than one. I'm talking about prosper spiritually, prosper physically, prosper emotionally, prosper mentally, prosper relationally, prosper financially, prosper occupationally, prosper from a environmental standpoint, prosper in many ways. You are designed for that. Why are you gambling with mediocrity? So let us stop, y'all. Let us stop wasting our time, wasting our energy, wasting our resources, wasting our thoughts on a game that we not even designed to win. With that being said, you have greatness in you, people. This is Coach Paul. I love every last one of y'all, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Until the next time we get together, please be well, do the next right thing. God bless you all. And if you're looking for a butt, it's going to always be easy to find one. I'll see y'all next time. Deuces.